Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome you to this official event of the launch of the course entitled Advances in Transdisciplinary Research on Global Environmental Change in Latin America and the Caribbean. From the Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research, we are very happy to see these many participants and quite diverse also regarding geographical origin. Today we have an agenda with guests to give you a great introduction about this course and also so that you can make the most of it. Please remember we have simultaneous interpretation, which you can find in the Zoom icons. We have simultaneous interpreting in the maybe we can help you in the chat so that you can find it. So I would like to introduce myself. I am Omar Lopez. I'm the science director at the Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research. And I would like to give you an overview of who we are and what we do and why we are here to help the region's countries. The Inter-American Institute for Global Change Research, better known as the IAI for its English acronym, aims to bring the best possible science to inform decision making and face global change challenges. We've already been working for 33 years. We serve the 19 countries in the region in the Americas. And we support excellence research. And we also have an inclusive perspective. This is why with this course we would like to cater to the needs of regarding co-creation in the different sectors of society and different generations as well when it comes to facing global change challenges. We have a history of producing knowledge in the region, and through our open science policy, we are making all this research available to the entire academic community in the region through open platforms. We would also like to highlight that we can also provide courses to the academic community. And also I will tell you about the courses today. And they are free of charge. And they can help you improve your skill set, your toolbox, so that you can better face the challenges posed by climate change. Without further ado, I would like to welcome you to this course and also to the TD Academy that we have at the IAI. Welcome Laila Sandroni, our academic director of the TD program. Laila, you have the floor. Thank you, Omar. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here today, online, listening to us today. I can see here in the chat that there's people from Mexico, Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Brazil. I'm so happy to see you all. It's great to see that people in our region are interested in learning more about how we can build knowledge with the people that need the solutions. So I'm very happy to be here. I will be making a brief presentation about the TD Academy and the course that we are launching today to give you some context about the course, and also so that we can understand which are the main contents of the course.
Bueno, como dice Omar, hoy estamos lanzando
As
ese curso que
Omar
se
is
llama
saying,
Avances en
today we are
Investigación
launching this course
Transdisciplinaria
entitled
con
Advances
Gobernanza
in
Global
TD
en América
Research and Global
Latina y
Environmental
el
Change in
Caribe.
Latin America and the
Ese
Caribbean.
curso fue hecho a partir del
This
Instituto
course
Interamericano de
was
Investigación en Cambio
developed by
Global,
the Inter-American
porque
Institute for
nosotros
Global Change
entendemos
Research
que los
because we
retos de los
understand
problemas que
that
hacen
the
parte de nuestra agenda
challenges that are part
científica
of our
no se
scientific
pueden
agenda
resolver por
cannot
solo una
be
disciplina, un
solved
grupo
by
o un
just
solo
one
país.
discipline, one group,
Que
or
las
just one
colaboraciones
country.
entre las
We
diferentes
believe that
disciplinas y los diferentes
collaboration among
países
different
es
disciplines and
fundamental
countries
para
is
que lleguemos a
essential
soluciones que de
so
facto
that we can
sean
find
posibles
solutions
adelante de
uh,
desafíos como la
which
pérdida de la
otherwise would be
biodiversidad, el cambio
impossible,
climático, las
without
discusiones en
which
diferentes
it would be
países del
impossible
mundo
to face
y
biodiversity
también la
loss,
pandemia, ¿no?
climate
Entonces, algunos
change,
de los
recessions in different
ejemplos de
countries
los
in the
tipos de
world, the
desafíos que
pandemic.
nosotros
So these are some of the
estamos
challenges that we
adelante
are
en los días de hoy.
now
En el
facing.
AI nosotros entendemos que
The
la
IAI
transdisciplina es
believes that
necesaria cuando el conocimiento sobre un
transdisciplinary
problema
research is
requiere tiempo
necessary
y cuando hay
because
mucho en
when there
juego
is
para los
uncertain knowledge
resultados de
about a
aquel
given
problema
problem
o cuestión.
and there is a lot of stake
De esa
for the
manera,
people
nosotros en el
involved,
IAI
TD research is
ofrecemos
essential.
hace
This is why
5
at
años
the IAI,
una
5 years
parte
ago, we
específica de
started
nuestros
to
programas de
develop a
ciencia
specific part
que
of our science
llamamos de
programs,
Transdisciplinary
which we
Academy
call
o Academia
the TD
Transdisciplinaria,
Academy or
que es un
Transdisciplinary
programa para
Academy.
generar
This is a program that
capacidades
helps
y
for
apoyar
capacity building
directamente la
and to
implementación de
directly
proyectos
support
a
the
través de
implementation
una
of
mirada
projects
transdisciplinaria.
through a transdisciplinary
Nosotros
perspective.
entendemos transdisciplinariedad o
We
investigación
believe that
transdisciplinar a todo lo que
transdisciplinary
incluye
research or TD
ciencias
research
naturales y
includes
sociales, pero que
natural and
incluye
social
también los
sciences, but
conocimientos no
also
académicos que vienen de la
non-academic
práctica
knowledges
política
that come from
o desde el
policy practice
conocimiento de los conocimientos
or
ecológicos
from
locales.
local
Entonces
ecological
nosotros
knowledge.
entendemos que para
Therefore,
generar
we understand
acciones
that
reales
in
en el
order
mundo
to
real, la
uh,
ciencia tiene que
take
salir
real
de la
actions in the
torre
real world,
base
science
y
needs to
llegar
leave
a las
its
comunidades
ivory
de
coast and
carne y hueso que están por
ivory
ahí pasando por
tower
los
and
problemas
actually
y
reach the
intentando
communities,
establecer
talk to them to
soluciones
see
a
what's
ello.
happening
Nosotros
as
tenemos
they
dentro
try to
del
find
sitio
solutions.
web de la TD Academy
On the TD Academy
una
website,
biblioteca
there
transdisciplinaria
is a
donde están
TD
disponibles
library
muchos
or
recursos
transdisciplinary
para esas
library that has
capacidades
many
y
resources for
entrenamiento en transdisciplina.
capacity building in
Nosotros
TD
entendemos a
research.
través de ese
Uh,
mapeo de lo que estaba
Through
disponible
this,
que
we mapped
hay
the resources available. And
diversos
we
desafíos
believe then that there are
implicados en
several
intentar
challenges when it comes
hacer ese
to
tipo de investigación que
trying
llamamos
to
de
conduct this
transdisciplinar.
research, which we call
Porque
TD
nosotros como
research.
científicos,
Because us, as
yo misma,
scientists,
antropóloga,
I am an anthropologist, for
no somos
instance,
entrenados a
we
producir
haven't been trained to
conocimientos
produce
con otros
knowledge
agentes de
with
producción, desarrollo y
other
conocimientos.
knowledge
Nosotros
and
somos
wisdom
entrenados a hacer nuestra ciencia
producers.
solitos y
We
por
have been
eso
trained to do
hacer
science on our
colaboraciones
own. And this is why
necesita de
working
otros tipos de
collaboratively
entrenamiento y de visiones
requires
que
other types of
en
training
general a
and
menudo no
views
tenemos en la
that
academia.
we often lack
Y
in
por
the
eso
academia.
hay una necesidad de
This
entrenar
is why
las
there is a
personas y
need
los
to
científicos
train
específicamente
people
para
or
eso.
science
Pero los
specifically for that.
materiales disponibles para
But the
ese tipo de
materials that we
entrenamiento
have
son a
available for
menudo
that
basados
training
en
are
experiencias del Mar
usually
Global
based on
con
global north
traducción tecnológica.
experiences with a
Y
global
por
north
eso nosotros
perspective.
entendemos que
And
sería
this is
muy
why
importante y
we believe that it
necesario
would be very
hacer
important
un
and
recurso
necessary
o una
to
herramienta para ese
prepare a
entrenamiento
course
que
or
fuese
develop a tool for
enfocado en
this
nuestra
training
región, en
that would
Latinoamérica
focus
y
on
el
our
Caribe.
region,
Y así
Latin America and the
desarrollamos ese curso
Caribbean.
que
And
mide
this is
4
how we
módulos
have
que está
developed this
disponible en
four
el campus
module
virtual del
online
IAI
course
y
available
que
at
cuenta
the
con
IAI's virtual
casos,
campus.
ejemplos reales desde
It
Perú,
has
Brasil,
case
Bolivia, Panamá,
studies with real
Jamaica,
examples
México,
from Peru,
Uruguay y
Brazil, Bolivia,
Colombia.
Panama, Jamaica, Mexico, Uruguay, and Colombia.
Acá están
These are the short titles of each module. Number one, foundational concepts in TD research. Two, transformative TD, lessons from Latin America and the Caribbean. Three, it focuses specifically on capacity building for successful collaborations through different perspectives. And four, project design and management for TD.
Ese curso fue desarrollado por un equipo
This
brillante,
course was developed by a
de
brilliant team
transformadores.
formed
Tenemos
by
dos de
wonderful
ellas
people.
acá,
We have two of
la
them
doctora
here
Gabriela
today,
Alonso
Dr.
Yáñez y doctora
Gabriela
Lili
Alonso
Peters,
Yáñez and
están
Dr.
acá con
Lily
nosotros.
House-Peters. They're here with
Hicieron un
us
trabajo
today.
muy
They
cuidadoso,
did
fue un
a
trabajo
very
de
careful
cerca de dos,
job.
2 años y
It
medio.
took them
Y dentro de
almost
ese
2 years and a
espacio de
half
tiempo,
to
nosotros
complete. And
tuvimos
within that
reuniones
period,
mensuales
we had
con un
monthly
llamado steering
meetings
committee, un
with
comité
a steering
que nos sirvió
committee,
de guía durante el
which
proceso
guided
con
us
diferentes
throughout the
instituciones que
process.
están trabajando
It
en la
included different
implementación de la
institutions that are
transdisciplina
working
en
to
nuestra
implement
región.
TD
La
research in
idea
our
acá
region.
fue poner el abordaje
We
transdisciplinario para el
wanted to
propio proceso
include
de desarrollo
TD
del curso.
methods already to
Después de la
develop the
primera
course
versión
itself.
piloto del curso que quedó
After
lista,
the first
nosotros
pilot
hicimos
version of the
un
course was
programa
ready,
piloto de
we prepared
entrenamiento
a
basado
pilot
de
capacity building
un
program.
curso en línea, síncrono y
It was an
asíncrono, utilizando los
synchronous
materiales
and
y las herramientas disponibles,
non-synchronous
casado
online
con
course
un
with the materials
proceso de
and
submisión de
tools
propuestas
available. And this
para
was
desarrollar
combined with a proposal
proyectos a
submission
través de
process to
fondos
develop
semilla.
projects through seed
Ese programa
grants.
se enfocó en una temática
That
específica
program
de bosques
focused
tropicales.
specifically
Eso
on
pasó el año
tropical
pasado,
forests.
de abril
This
a
took
noviembre
place
de
last year
2024.
between April and November of
Al final de ese
2024.
proceso,
At the end of
algunos de
that
los equipos
process,
lograron
some of the
someter
teams
propuestas
were
a
able
un
to
otro llamado
submit proposals to
transdisciplinario y
another
ahí
TD call,
de más alto alcance en el
a,
sentido de
a,
tener
a
más plazo
higher
para la
reach
implementación de los proyectos,
program
que
because they would
fue
get
el
more
Tropical
funds to
Forest
implement their
Global
projects.
Implication
And this
and
was a
Pressing Action,
Tropical Forest Global
que es una
Implications and
acción de
Pressing Actions,
investigación
which is
colaborativa
a
de la parte del
collaborative
Belmont
research
Forum.
action organized by the Belmont Forum.
Después de ese proceso de implementación del
After
curso
this
piloto, nosotros recibimos el
implementation
feedback de las
process
personas que
of the pilot
participaron
course,
de ese
actually,
primer
we received the
curso, de
feedback
las
from the participants
112
in the
más o menos
first
personas
course.
que
It was
fueron
around
acá, que participaron de
112
este curso.
people who are
Gostaría
here who
de
participated in the
recalcar que
course.
no fueron
So once
solo
again,
académicos,
please
pero
remember
también
that
los
it
parceros
wasn't just
nosos de los
academicians,
proyectos que
but we also
estuvieron
had
involucrados en
other,
el
for instance,
entrenamiento.
project
Y
partners
recibimos ese feedback
participating
y
in the
pasamos al equipo
training.
de
So
desarrollo
we
del
received
curso
their
nuevamente,
feedback
que ha hecho
and
una revisión de
we
los contenidos y
worked with
ahorita
the course
sí
development team
tenemos los
again.
contenidos
They reviewed
disponibles
the
en
contents,
nuestro
and
sitio
now the
web
contents
para
are
todos ustedes.
available on our website,
Y bueno,
all of
con
you
mucha
to
alegría
access.
paso la palabra
So, with great
a
joy,
Gaby
I would like to
primero
give the floor to
para
Gabby
charlar un
first
poco
so that she
sobre
can tell us a little
el
bit
proceso de
about
desarrollo y la
the development
perspectiva
process
pedagógica del curso.
and the pedagogical
Sí,
perspective of the
si me
course. Thank you.
permite,
May I just say
Laila,
something?
voy a presentar
Laila,
rápidamente a
just
Gaby
very briefly, I
y a
would like to
Lili
introduce
para
Gabi and
que
Lily
el público presente
so that
conozca un poco
the
de
participants
dónde vienen
can
de
learn
sus
a bit
carreras
about them,
profesionales.
where they come from, and their career as well.
La doctora Gabriela Alonso Yáñez
Dr.
es
Gabriela
profesora
Alonso
asociada
Yáñez
en la
is an
Facultad de
associate professor
Educación de
at
la
the School
Universidad
of
de Calgary
Education,
en
University
Canadá,
of Calgary in
donde
Canada,
investiga la
where
intersección
she
entre
researches the
sostenibilidad,
intersection between
equidad y el
sustainability,
aprendizaje
equality,
transdisciplinario.
and TD
Mucha de su
learning.
investigación se
Much of her
enfoca
research
en cómo
focuses
los equipos
on
diversos,
how
desde
diverse
comunidades hasta
teams from
instituciones,
including
co-crean
communities or
conocimiento
institutions
mediante la
co-create
colaboración entre
knowledge
sectores
through
y le
the
interesa
collaboration of
especialmente
sectors.
cómo el
She's
poder,
especially
el
interested
acceso
in
y la
how
legitimidad
power, access,
influyen,
and
impulsan el acceso a
legitimacy
diseñar y liderar la ciencia de
affect
la
who has
sostenibilidad.
access to design
Por otra parte, la
sustainability,
doctora
to
Lily House
design
Peters
and lead
es
sustainability
profesora
science.
asociada
Dr.
en
Lily
la
House
Facultad de
Peters is an associate
Geografía de
professor
la
at the
Universidad
School of
Estatal de
Geography,
California en
State
Long Beach,
University of California in Long
sobre
Beach.
todo en sistemas sostenibles, y es la directora
She
del
focuses
programa de
on
ciencias
sustainable
y políticas ambientales. Su
systems, and she's the
investigación
director
examina
of
cómo los mecanismos
environmental policies and
alternativos y
sciences. Her
experimentales
research
de
studies how
gobernanza ambiental pueden
alternative
mejorar
and
la
experimental
mediación de
governance
conflictos en
environmental governance
sistemas de
mechanisms can
recursos
improve
naturales,
conflict
experimentando la
mediation when it
presión
comes to
sobre
natural resource systems
sobre la sobreexplotación
by
y la degradación
experimenting
ambiental y la
with
pérdida
the
de
pressure,
biodiversidad. En
exploitation,
particular,
environmental
la
degradation,
doctora
and
Lily House
biodiversity
Peters
loss.
le
In
interesa el
particular,
papel de la
Dr. House
investigación
Peters is interested
transdisciplinar
in
para
TD
ampliar la
research
participación comunitaria
to
en la investigación y abordar
widen community
explícitamente
participation
las
in research
asimetrías de
and
poder
to
que se dan,
specifically address
¿verdad? Y
the power
conectar y respetar los
asymmetries
diversos sistemas de
and
conocimiento
connect
y
and
los diferentes
respect
divergentes entre las
every
partes
knowledge
interesadas.
system
Bueno, sin
and
más, le doy la palabra
opposing
entonces a
interests of the
Gabriela Alonso para darla
stakeholders.
primero.
So first of all, I would like to give the floor to Gabriela
Muchas
Alonso.
gracias,
Thank
Omar.
you. Thank
Muchas
you,
gracias
Omar.
a los organizadores
Thank you
y a Lourdes
to
en
the
especial porque
organizers and
tiene el
Lourdes in
trabajo de
particular
ayudarnos en la
because
interpretación.
she is helping
Ahora
us
voy
with the
a
interpretation.
hablar en inglés.
Now I will be
Voy a ir
speaking
lento
in
para la interpretación.
English, and I'll speak slowly for the interpretation.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are very pleased to share our work with you and discuss key orientation for TD curriculum design. Over the past 2 years, our team has spent significant time exploring the importance of a critical perspective on transdisciplinary work and the hopeful opportunities it offers to address urgent socio-environmental challenges. This launch comes at a perfect time, giving us an opportunity to reconnect, reflect on the efforts leading to this project, and to enjoy the satisfaction of seeing it come to fruition today. In designing and developing our curriculum, we draw from real-world cases and the lived experiences of members of collaborative networks in Latin America and the Caribbean. We also curated best practices and efforts to address existing challenges in establishing and maintaining transdisciplinary initiatives. When we started doing this work, Lily, the team, and I took some time reflecting on what we believe were the key characteristics that made this curriculum unique. So we came to decide that we have two that we want to speak about today. The first one is, as Laila was explaining, that our work included a comprehensive review of existing open access TD materials. We reviewed those materials and helped shape and differentiate the pedagogical design of our materials. We developed a curated database of open access TD materials, including books, podcasts, courses, and multimedia resources that were already available. And with this review, we informed both the structure of our course and we consolidated our clear commitment to supporting just and inclusive research practices. Unlike many initiatives that treat TD as a mere technical skill, we see it as a relational and political process, one that actively challenges power imbalances in knowledge creation and funding schemes. Our curriculum positions TD as more than an academic method, and it serves as a transformative approach capable of redirecting resources and influence towards local communities in meaningful ways. And then the second point that makes our curriculum unique is that the core of our curriculum is a relentless focus on community-based work. The cases highlighted here are sites that underwent field visits and ethnographic work. From examining these sites, we elucidated principles of TD collaboration and reflect these nuances to acknowledge the realities of building equitable partnerships, emphasizing ongoing dialogue and shared authority. These foster an emphasis on decentering academia and turning a gaze on community leadership and local knowledge. Thank you. And I'm gonna now give the floor to Lily.
Thank you, Gabby, and I'll also continue in English for the interpreters. If we could have the next slide, I believe. Thank you. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So in just a few minutes, I'm just going to reinforce some of the things that Gabriela said and tell you a little bit more about our kind of pedagogical approach that underpins or that is the foundation of this curriculum. And so it was really central to the vision of our transdisciplinary curriculum for it to be evidence-based and empirically grounded, as Gabriela was saying, in the real experiences of research teams and communities that are conducting transdisciplinary research in the Latin America and Caribbean region. And we really see this transformative, solutions-oriented transdisciplinary work is urgently needed across the region as we see global environmental change presenting these increasingly wicked problems defined by high levels of complexity, uncertainty, and plurality. And so given this, our scientific practices really must also adapt. And so in our curriculum, a key contribution from really this deep focus on the Latin America and Caribbean region is to really think about the new insights that we can offer about the implementation potential of transdisciplinary research, especially for worlds outside of kind of the global north. And in this review that we did and the research kind of leading up to developing our own curriculum, we really found that much of the existing transdisciplinary work has been developed in the global north and has really focused more on experiences and theoretical frameworks and concepts from the global north rather than being based in the global south. And so here we also really recognize the relevance of engaging in explicitly decolonial work. And that means that we need to understand the intersectional relationship among gender, ethnicity, politics, economics, and oppression and resistance. And so we found that as well to be really important to understand in this work. So you see here we have a lot of attention to inequality, power, visibility, and how knowledge production relates with that. We also really found that by focusing on the Latin American and Caribbean region, we saw the capacity, how important is the capacity of local actors to speak, to push back, to articulate their own stories and descriptions of the complex and relational networks of knowledge, bodies, objects, cultural forms, narratives, and histories that co-constitute territories and environments. And so certain emphasis that you'll see in the curriculum is incorporating knowledge and practices to really enhance local capacity and recognizing the rich indigenous knowledge systems and diverse local communities and valuable insights that they bring to sustainable practices. We also really focused on understanding how we can promote social learning and capacity building and empowering stakeholders through collaborative research, and emphasizing social justice and equity as well throughout this work, and recognizing that often the impacts, negative impacts, are on already disproportionately burdened, marginalized communities. So that was really important for us to be thinking about equity and ethics throughout our TD kind of research and case studies. So the last thing I'll say is that a big focus as well here focused on issues of co-creation of knowledge and integration of diverse knowledges and values. And we really worked on modeling that actually throughout the creation and development of this curriculum. And so throughout the brainstorming, ideation, and creation stages, we worked to incorporate feedback, working closely with a steering committee of regional experts. And this process was very invaluable. It really strengthened our curriculum development. And then, as Laila said, we were able to pilot test the curriculum with some different groups, including the IAI STEP Fellows. We're very grateful to them, and beta testing it with the tropical forests in the Americas training program. And so we hope that you'll find that this curriculum offers some new insights because it is really based in the experiences of doing this work in the region. So with that, I'll pass it on to our next speaker. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Lili. Laila,
Thank
tú
you
ibas
so much,
a
Lily.
cerrar esta
Laila,
parte
you wanted
o
to close
continuamos con la
this section,
presentación
or shall we
de la
go on
doctora
to
Basirat?
Dr. Basirat's presentation.
a seguir.
I just wanted to
Tenemos
say
dos
that
personas que son
there's two people
investigadoras a las
who
cuales
are
admiro mucho
researchers and I really admire
personalmente, que
them.
están involucradas en hacer
They have
transdisciplinar
participated
en dos
in,
regiones
they
que
do
pueden, me
TD work
parece,
in two
ganar
regions
mucho con
that
la
I
existencia de
think
ese currículo.
might
Entonces,
benefit
hasta
quite a
ese
lot from
punto,
this curriculum.
tuvimos presentaciones de personas que
So far,
estuvieron
we've had
involucradas
presentations made by
en el
people
desarrollo
involved
del
in
currículo. Y
developing the
ahorita vamos a
curriculum.
pasar la
But
palabra a
now
dos
we would like to
personas
give
que
the floor
trabajan
to two
a partir
people
de la
that
perspectiva
work
transdisciplinaria
from a
y que
TD
pudieran
perspective.
hacer una
And
avaliación
they
del
might
currículum en el sentido
actually,
de pensar
they actually
cuáles son
assessed
las
the
principales
curriculum
características y
regarding its
posibles
main
usos. Entonces,
characteristics
la
and
idea de la
potential
segunda parte
uses.
del webinario de
So
hoy
the
es
second part
tener
of
esas
today's
voces
webinar
de
focuses
gente
on
que
having
llegó y
these
miró el
opinions of
currículum
people
pronto
who
para ver
had a look
cuáles son los
at
posibles
the final
futuros
curriculum to
de ese recurso.
find the potential
Perfecto.
future of the resource.
Y me permito presentar
Great.
a nuestra
I
próxima
would like to introduce our
oradora, que
next
es la doctora
speaker,
Basirat Oyalowo.
Dr.
La
Basirat
doctora Basirat
Oyalowo.
Oyalowo es profesor titular
Dr.
en real
Oyalowo
estate,
is a main professor
bienes y raíces,
in real
en la
estate
Universidad de
at the
Oxford en
University
Brookes,
of Oxford
en
in
la
Brookes,
Gran Bretaña, y
Great Britain.
su investigación se concentra en la
Her research
gobernanza
focuses on
urbana y
urban
la resiliencia de las
governance
comunidades
and the
y
resilience of
cómo
communities,
la informalidad también
and
aplica
how
a la
informality
coproducción y a la
applies
participación
to
de la ciencia de los
co-production and
ciudadanos.
participation of citizen
Ella
science.
es la líder del
She's a
consejo
leader
o es
of
miembro del
the, or a
consejo
member of
de
the
Global Alliance y
Global
de
Alliance
Interdisciplinaridad
Council and
Alliance.
the
Así que sin más,
Interdisciplinarity
le doy la
Alliance.
palabra a la
Without further
doctora
ado, I would like to give
Oyalowo,
the
quien
floor
nos va
to
a dar un
Dr.
análisis
Oyalowo,
y
who
de la
will be
posible
talking to
uso que tiene
us
este
about the
curso que
potential
estamos
use of this
hoy
course,
lanzando
which we
desde
are
la
launching
perspectiva
today,
de la región de África.
from the
Adelante,
perspective
doctora
of the African
Basirat.
region. Dr. Basirat, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Should I share my screen? Should I share my presentation? Okay.
Yes.
Right. Okay, let me quickly do that. Right. So, I trust it's visible.
It is. It's not full screen, but it is
Okay,
visible.
let me do that quickly. So, okay, right. I think that should be fine now.
Perfect.
Okay. So I'm Basirat Oyalowo, as has been introduced. I'm actually a senior lecturer at the Oxford Brookes University, UK, not Oxford University. They are two different institutions. And I'm affiliated to the African Research Network for Urbanization and Habitable Cities. And I've been working with transdisciplinarity in the African region for close to 8-10 years now, and I am really delighted to be asked to give a presentation of my outlook of this program. So let me just start by appreciating your invitation to the ITD Alliance, which I belong to, and then I'll just give you my personal view of the modules. So the thing is, in reviewing the modules, I took the time to take the course as a student, and it was really interesting for me because as someone who researches with this transdisciplinarity, who is also promoting transdisciplinary research, it was interesting to be a student and to take this module. So from my perspective, what I would like to say that there are so many outstanding features, and it's very clear how the pedagogical approaches that Gabriela and Lily described how it came out in practice. It was really, really visible and very useful. The contextualization of the training for implementing TD in regions with greater democratic deficit, as indicated in the introduction, really, really came true, because you look at the countries of Latin America, you find that we share similar development issues with African countries as well. So that contextualization really, really came true, and it made this program quite unique. The field work and the country case studies were also very, very useful to understand what was actually going on, the problems and the issues that communities were facing in different walks of life, and that was really nice. Then the case studies also came not just from one country in Latin America, but also from a variety of countries, and on different topics, from conservation to fish farming to coffee growing. All of this really, really helps for anyone who even wants to know more about this region. There are so many rich materials there. I liked the short videos that ended each aspect of the module, each topic area. They were not lecture videos, but they were interactive interviews. It makes them really relatable. And it was also nice that interviewees spoke their own language with interpretation where appropriate. That was really good. Then the assessment, I like the two questions. They were really quite useful for testing one's own progress. The resources themselves, they rich compendium of literature on TR from all parts of the world, which also spoke to both technical and actual issues. So those for me are the key outstanding features. Apart from the pictures, the very useful contextualized pictures that were in the slides were not too wordy, yet they communicated, the core issues really, really well. I really liked that. Then in terms of addressing the capacity building needs in TR in Africa, I dare say anyone from any part of the world would really find this suite of course, to be very, very useful. It's self-paced, so anyone as an academic or a civil society actor, or even a government official who is interested in learning about TR, transdisciplinary research, can actually benefit from taking this course. And of course, you can self-pace yourself over the period of time that you want to, that is available. I like the fact that the resources were, they spoke to both general issues in TR and also to some topics you don't generally find in terms of the project management, impact management, and so on. These were really useful. The topics of the concepts, co-production, social learning, boundary objects, these are terms that we hear thrown around, but in this training program, they were explained. They were broken down and explained, and I think that is really, really interesting and will really help those that are taking the course. So I really found it to be relatable, and of course it's very useful for early career researchers as well as anyone who is interested in knowing more about TR or engaging with TR. And then, so we go on to the possible uses of the training package. I think it can be repackaged or as a basis for other programs in other parts of the world. I mean, the structure now, it can really, really serve as a template for regional training packages. When you look at all the reading materials, the required reading materials, the supplementary reading materials, you put them together, that's quite a big library and useful library for transdisciplinary research, literature review, and all sorts, the way we academics like to use such things. So that can be, and the fact that most of them were open access as well, really, really good. I think most of them, virtually all of them, were open access. So that's good. And I also would recommend it for anyone who is preparing grants for funding TR projects. The suggestions on impacts, on data management, or project management, really, really useful. And of course, it can be used as a basis for actual in-person training as well. But I noticed some areas to improve. I would like to see some accessibility so that the text, for example, the videos can be downloadable, so that one can keep that. If you don't want to listen, you can read it up. I think the use of AI can be used to convert the case study materials into videos as well that can also be interactive. I think those are the two key things that I saw could be improved. And here I'm happy to show off my certificate of completion. I really enjoyed working through the program. And finally, I would like to invite you all to learn more about the Global Alliance for Inter and Transdisciplinary Research, of which I am a member of the leadership board. Our work is to act as a platform for connecting actors and providing resources to advance collaborative modes of transdisciplinary research. And so we have a student, and we are open for institutional and individual membership as well. So if you want to learn more, please just click on the QR code, and that will take you to our site. To close off, I'm really glad to be invited to speak to everyone. And I hope that if you have not taken this course, you go out now. And after this program, you just log in. You will find it very interesting, and very useful for your career development or your research activities or your civil society activities, or if you're in the policy sector, also really, really good. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, doctora Basirat. Excelente, excelente, y que nos muestra ahí su certificado, que ya lo tomó. Excelente.
Thank you, Dr. Basirat. It's great to see your certificate. Thank you so much. Okay, now I would like to introduce our next guest,
Doctora Cristina Adams,
Dr. Cristina Adams, who will be analyzing and giving us her perspective about the potential uses of the course in our region. She's a human ecologist. She's an associate professor in the School of Arts, Science and Humanities, University of São Paulo, Brazil. She has also been a leading author at IPBES and the 2019 Global Assessment, and also the Brazilian platform on biodiversity and ecosystem services. Her research focuses primarily on adapting tropical forests and the governance of tropical forests. She works with indigenous peoples from Brazil. Let's see if my pronunciation is okay. The Caijaras and Quilombola groups in the region in the Atlantic forest, better known as Atlantic Mata, and the Amazon forests. Pardon my pronunciation, Dr. Cristina, please. Thank you. You have the floor.
Buenas tardes. I'm going to proceed in English. So thank you for the invitation, Omar and Laila. I'm glad to be here with the team that developed the course and Dr. Basirat. So I'm going to share my screen as well. Is it in presentation mode? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm a professor at the University of São Paulo, and I have been working with transdisciplinary research for quite a few years now, especially with what we call the traditional people in Brazil, and mainly focused on tropical forests, right? And so I was really glad to be invited to give my personal opinion on the course. And I think my presentation will kind of complement the previous presentations. And so let's go. So I think one of the main features, thinking from the point of view of a researcher, an academic, and also a teacher, right, of graduate and undergraduate students, I was really glad with this complex, the approach of TD research as a complex social practice that includes a diversity of actors, types of knowledge, methodologies, which is really, for us working in the field, it's quite obvious, but for most other scientists that we invite to work with us, this is not really obvious, right? So science is something very specific activity. I do a literature review. I have my research questions. I build a project. I get the funding. I go to the field, collect the data, and then I publish it. So I think this is a really useful approach, needed approach for complex problems like global climate change and other changes as well in our region. And also I like the view that seeing TD research as a science policy bridge, the course is solution-oriented, right? And also proposed as a way to overcome the knowledge action gap. Because these are challenges that conventional academic research has been trying to overcome to address all these complex problems. And we are not as successful as we should be to address these problems that are really happening in very fast, right? We need to improve our training. We need to include other people. So I liked this approach. It's also very nice because as Basirat has already presented to us, it includes practical guidance on strategies, methodologies, team and project building, fundraising, and communication, which most TD researchers such as me had to learn and practice, like by myself, during decades of work with indigenous people, policymakers, government people, and facing countless challenges to put like a framework together and to develop a way how to do research, right? So this is a real step forward. It's all there, the information that researchers, students, and other government personnel will need for a very good introduction to TD research. Sorry. So does it address the needs? Yes, I think it does. It covers the main topics needed, as I said, to co-construct a project, implement and produce also results and how to communicate them, reaching a broad audience and facilitating team dialogue. So this is also very interesting because when we are involved in a TD research project, we as researchers have to learn, right, how to include different points of views, different methodologies and cosmological views and so on. But local people also have to learn how to deal with us, right? And especially when they had previous experiences with more traditional researchers and were not very pleased with these experiences. So there it's a double way learning process, right? So I think besides reaching students, academic students and scientists, it also reaches a broader audience, right? At least from my experience in Brazil. And And this is also due to the accessible language and the way the pedagogical and teaching material was built. And it's very clear, well designed, providing these practical case studies from all over the region, so from different countries, different socio-ecological systems, different people. So very, a lot of examples. It is, of course, self-guided and adaptable, so you can do it at your own pace and get a certificate in the end. So I'm hoping for a Portuguese version soon, since in Brazil, though we do understand Spanish roughly, a Portuguese version would really increase the outreach, right? And thinking about other possible uses besides training undergraduate and graduate students, because at least in Brazil, let's say the most advanced research groups and different courses at the university give interdisciplinary training, which is quite common now, especially in the environmental and social environmental areas. But in other scientific areas, not as usual. So this is really useful. It was designed for this. But also, I see it as very useful for the training of like NGO employees, journalists, and communication teams, because we are trying to develop and to train communication people to give, to show how science can help on, can contribute to solving these really complex systems. So we know that scientists are not very good at communicating science, but also journalists and communication teams have to be trained. So I think this is really very useful. But also reviewers at funding agencies and in the academia, right, the ones that evaluate our career. Because when they evaluate a project or a curriculum of researchers that work with TD, usually we are not very successful. So I think it would be very useful for them as well. And of course, local policymakers and government officials, so those that are working on the ground with people that are also co-producing knowledge with us, such as rural extension, environmental health agencies, and other governmental agencies as well. And last but not least, forest and ecosystem restoration groups. This is a very important movement here in Brazil, but also local associations, indigenous people, and especially young leaders that are now starting to, instead of migrating out of their communities, they want to stay, they want to fight for their rights and for a healthy environment. So I think especially for young leaders, this is a really useful course. So congratulations to IAI, and hope it will be a great success.
Gracias, Cristina, y interesante el punto que
Thank you,
resaltas
Cristina. What you're saying is very interesting about the need for funding agencies and researcher performance assessment systems also consider these new methodologies and approaches to a science that can make that can find better solutions in the field and for everyone. I can see that there are several questions in the chat. Let me now give the floor to Daniel. Daniel, can you please read a question? Thank you. Thank you, Omar. There's two questions. Number one, Juan Julio Ordóñez. He's asking, I think the question was made during Lily's and Gabriela's turns. He's talking about including AI in the curriculum as a way to create knowledge, in particular regarding atmospheric studies, oceanographic studies, and others, and also given the social dimension of this integration. So including AI as a mechanism to create TD knowledge. Thank you. Who would like to answer that question? Please go ahead.
¿Ibas a hablar, Laila?
Puedes seguir, Gaby, por favor.
Sí.
Sí, bueno, yo creo que estoy de acuerdo que es un
I think I
factor
agree.
muy
I
importante
think it's a very
en
important
la
factor
generación de conocimientos.
in
Y
knowledge
lo que se me
creation.
ocurre,
What comes
definitivamente,
to mind
creo que a lo que se refería la
is
doctora
that
Cristina,
what Dr. Cristina
un
meant
enfoque que nosotros
was that
tratamos de enfatizar en el currículum es
in the
entender la
curriculum we tend to
transdisciplina y la
focus on
práctica
the
de
following:
investigación
understanding
como una
TD
práctica
and
social
research
compleja
practice as a complex
y como práctica social
social
compleja,
practice.
entonces
And
las
as
preguntas de
such,
qué tecnologías,
the
qué
questions
tipo
about
de
which technologies,
actividades
which types
sociotécnicas
of
afectan nuestra práctica.
social and technical
Me gustaría solamente como
activities affect our practice.
clarificar que eso no significa
So I
que
want to clarify that this doesn't
se
mean
considere a la
that
inteligencia artificial como un factor
AI
aislado
is considered
a
an
cómo
isolated
define o determina nuestras
factor
prácticas de
regarding
investigación.
how it
Y sí me
defines or
parece muy
determines our
interesante
research
la pregunta
practices.
sobre el
And I
tema.
think the question is very interesting. Thank you.
Gracias.
Yo complementaría solo, Omar,
Thank
decir
you.
que
I would like to just complement that.
nosotros desde ahí tenemos en cuenta
At the
que
IAI, we
el
consider that
currículum
the
tiene una basis de los
curriculum
fundamentos y
has
hay la posibilidad de seguirnos
a foundation
evolucionando,
basis,
¿no?
and we
Entonces, en
can
el
keep
futuro tenemos también esa
evolving.
visión
In the future,
que
we
la
also
TD
have the
Academy
vision
siga
that the
produciendo cada
TD
vez módulos
Academy can keep
complementarios o
producing complementary
implementación de
models,
inteligencia
supplementary
artificial.
models,
Y
maybe
es
use
una de las cosas que
AI.
estaba en la cajita de posibilidades para el
It was
futuro.
one
Así
of
que
the
gracias por
possibilities for
la
the
pregunta.
future. So thank you
Sí, adicionalmente
for the
desde ahí,
question.
específicamente
Also,
desde
and
el Centro de
specifically at
Diplomacia
the IAI
Científica,
from the
uno de los
Science
aspectos
Diplomacy
importantes a
Center, one
entender
of the main aspects that
cómo
we
la
should
inteligencia artificial
understand
nos puede ayudar en
regarding how
esto
AI can
de
help
confrontar
us
los problemas que
to
nos brinda
face
el cambio global,
the
es
problems
tratar de ver
caused by
cómo podemos integrar
global
este tipo de
change,
herramientas a la
is
solución de problemas.
trying to determine how we
Daniel,
can
si
include
puedes leer
these tools
la segunda
to help
pregunta.
solve problems. Daniel, can you read the next question? We have another question.
Harry Díaz nos pregunta
Harry Díaz is
cómo se
asking,
pueden enunciar las principales diferencias entre
how
investigación
can we
interdisciplinaria e
list the
investigación
main differences
transdisciplinaria?
between
¿Cuáles
interdisciplinary
son las
research
implicaciones de
and
cada
TD
una en cuanto a
research? Which
preguntas de
are
investigación,
each
problemas,
area's
etcétera?
implications
Creo
regarding
que
question, research problems,
cualquiera de nuestros
etc.?
panelistas podría
I think that any one of these panelists can
elaborar.
address this question.
¿Quién quiere tomar la
Who
pregunta
would like
sobre
to answer the
diferencias entre
question about
interdisciplinaridad y
differences between
transdisciplinaridad?
interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity?
I can. Basirat, why don't
No, please go ahead. Go
okay,
ahead, please.
I'll be very quick and then I'll pass the word to you. So one of the main differences that I see is that with interdisciplinarity, we're really focusing on bringing different academic disciplines and conceptual frameworks and types of training to bear on a complex problem. But with transdisciplinary research, here the focus also becomes on expanding or increasing who participates in the research and really opening that up to non-academic actors, especially community members and other practitioners who are doing work, and also changing the kind of who controls resources, who's empowered in the work from being more within academics to actually empowering and giving the resources to communities to help lead, co-create the research and guide the research and have that feeling of not only empowerment, but ownership over the research process. So that's one of the big differences I see, and that makes the transdisciplinary research tend to be more transformative and more solutions oriented often. And I'll pass the word to Basirat for our last minute.
And yes, absolutely. What the major thing that I see is how transdisciplinary research recognizes that knowledge is not restricted to academics by professors or researchers or the formal system. We also understand through transdisciplinary research that there are other ways of knowing, other means of understanding societal problems and finding solutions to them, and taking this from those that are active, those who are affected by these problems. They usually have the solutions as well, but they may not have the voice. So it's also about giving voice to those who are in the communities, learning from them, so that as academics, we get out of our ivory towers and really embrace knowledge that is out there outside of our training. So that's really important.
Gracias, gracias. Veo que tenemos dos preguntas más. Tenemos tiempo para una preguntita más, Daniel, si...
Okay, we have time for one more question. Daniel.
Vamos a ver, en el Q&A teníamos esas dos.
We had those two in the Q&A.
I think the other ones are answers to just reacting to the answers from the speakers.
Ok, perfecto. Bueno, de nuestra parte, Laila, no sé si estamos
Okay,
sobre la
thank
hora
you, Laila. I
y
think
simplemente
time is
desde el
up.
IAI agradecemos mucho,
The
mucho
IAI
la
would like to
participación de todos
truly
ustedes.
thank you for
Los
everyone's
invitamos
participation today.
a
We would like
visitar
to invite you
nuestra
to
Academia Transdisciplinar
visit our
y los invitamos
TD
a tomar el
Academy.
curso.
I would also like
Y
to
también bienvenida su
invite you to take
retroalimentación
the
que nos
course, and
puede
we welcome
también
your
ayudar
feedback as
a
well,
mejorar este
because
curso y estas herramientas que
it can
estamos
help
poniendo a
us improve
disposición.
this
A nuestros
tool
speakers,
and
a
these tools and
Cristina, a
this course.
Basirat,
Thank you to our
a
speakers,
Gabriela,
Cristina,
a
Basirat,
Lili, muchas gracias.
Gabriela,
También al equipo
Lily.
de apoyo,
Thank you
Andrea,
to the
Lourdes,
support team
Daniel,
as well,
Daniela.
Andrea,
Muchas
Lourdes,
gracias
Daniel,
y te
Daniela.
paso la palabra,
Thank you
Laila, para que
so much.
también
And Laila, you have the
cierres
floor as well so that you can
webinario.
close the webinar.
Sí, también me junto a ti, Omar, agradeciendo mucho a Gabriela,
So I
Cristina,
echo your
Basirat y
words,
Lili por estar
Omar.
aquí
Thank
con
you,
nosotros
Gabriela,
hoy,
Cristina,
a
Basilat,
todo
and
el
Lily for
equipo
being
de
here
IAI
today,
por
and also
hacer
the IAI team
ese
for
evento
making
que
this
fue hermoso.
event possible. It's
Y
been a
decirle a
great
todos
event.
que
Also, I would like to
esta
say
herramienta
that
está en el mundo para que
this
ustedes
tool
la
is
utilicen.
out there in the world
Ustedes
for you to use
pueden
it.
tomar el curso
You can
o
take the course
utilizar el
yourselves, you
curso
can
para
use the
entrenar a otras
course to
personas,
train
¿no?
other
Entonces
people
hay
as
esas
well.
dos posibilidades.
So there's
Es una
those two
herramienta
possibilities.
realmente muy
It's
útil
a
por
truly
si
useful
estás
tool
empezando un nuevo
if you're
proyecto
just
TD
starting a
y
new
quieres
TD
hacer
project and you want to
tener una manera de tener
have
todos
a
los
way
estudiantes en la misma
to
página. Entonces,
have
ojalá que
every
el
project team
curso
member on the same
vaya por
page.
ahí en toda
Hopefully, the
América
course
Latina
will travel
y
around Latin
también
America
en otras partes
and
del mundo.
also
Muchas
other
gracias a
parts of the
todos.
world. Thank you so much to
Muchas
everyone.
gracias por su participación.
Thank
Hasta
you
luego.
for
Buen día.
your participation. Have a great rest of the day. Bye bye.